Vancouver, Washington is still a hot seller's market. Hey, my name's Jesse Grover. I'm your local real estate agent. Today we're going to go over June's market report, show you why you are considering selling. This might be a great time to do it. And if you are buying, what you need to be looking for. So we're going to take a dive into these numbers and you'll want to stay tuned for what this report is going to show you. But before we do that, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a ton because I come out with videos like this every single week to keep you guys informed on what's happening here in Vancouver, Washington. So this is the June report. It comes out at the end of June, so the beginning of July, and we're going to take a deep dive and show you what's happening here in the market in Vancouver, Washington. So as you can see right now, we are sitting at 1.8 months inventory. Anything really under 3 months of inventory is still considered a seller's market. So even though we gained a little point from last month, it is still an actually really low supply that we have had for years now here in Vancouver and Clark County. But what you're going to see is new listings went up 1.4%, but pending sales went up 6.3%. So if new listings are coming out, they're not keeping up with the pending sales that are happening and they're swooping them. So you can definitely see that in total market time, that houses are coming and selling faster. So the days on market has on average has went down 6 days, which can be huge because that's a week's time. And the average sale price has went up 4.8%. So even with these high interest rates right now, buyers are getting kind of used to it. They're adjusting to their needs and their wants in the house, and they're still buying right now. It's really hard to look at this year's numbers to last year's numbers because interest rates were completely different. It was just a completely different market than it is right now. But in June of last year, that was the start of getting into those 5% interest rates, 5.5%, maybe 6% right there, if I remember. So it is still kind of comparable, but if you can see, we are down almost 25% of the amount of new listings. So there are just less and less people selling their house right now. So if you are in the market to sell your house can shine on the market right now because there is just no competition out there for you. So you can see closed sales went down 31% from last year. Those two numbers are huge comparing last year to this year of what was going on, but it just goes to show that we are in a completely different market right now, and it takes someone looking at these numbers and adjusting your strategy as a buyer or your strategy as a seller to service the best for you in these current standards and in this current market that we are playing. So as you can see, what I've predicted in my past videos of market updates, that we are gaining some traction and active listings are going up. They just haven't went up as much as last year in 2022, but we are going up from winter and spring right through here. In the height of summer, we always have the most listings, and this year we have the least amount of listings that we've had in the last 3 years. So there just is less people selling, and why I think that is because everybody who has had a good interest rate has refinanced and they're staying in their houses. So they're holding on to those 2.5%, 3% interest rates, and they're not selling now. And as you can see, if you're comparing this chart up here, active sales, and in 2021, why that was so much lower than it is right now, well, down here, we actually had that many more pending sales. So in 2021, people were buying houses as soon as they came out. So the houses just weren't staying on the market to be considered new listings because they were already just coming on and then going pending. So, but we have the least amount of pending. So the least amount of buyer activity in the last 3 years is happening right now. And that is all due to the higher interest rates that are now sitting in the 7s. And you can see that this year we have the most market time. So the average market time is just over 30 days. So the average time on market is about a month time. There's a lot of different houses. This is just the entire Clark County. This is entire Vancouver, Washington. So there's a lot of things that go on of why that is the average, because I was looking at a house that's been on the market for 270 days the other day, but then there's other houses that go pending in 3. So the average is a big there's a big gamut going on of what dictates that average. But you can see that before it was, say, 15-16 days last year, and it's over double that going on right now. So it is taking a little longer to sell, but that's where strategies come in. That's where hiring the right agent to market and deploy their strategy to best showcase your house and its features goes to show to keep that number down to get you into your next house. So the average sale price change is actually staying really tight right now. This year we're actually sitting right about 0. So what people are listing for the most part is what it's selling for, which is really healthy, because everybody was thinking that we are in a recession, but that the recession and the housing crash is gonna come and gonna happen. And what we're seeing right now is that we're kind of plateauing on this average sold price change. Over the last couple years, people had to bid above the listing price to be able to get a house, and now whatever the list price is, you can get it for that. And there can be other things and other terms and other conditions that you can get the house still a little bit cheaper, and ways to save money that doesn't always reflect in the price change. So I think that is why we have, if you've seen the last couple months in 2023, that we've kind of come up to this 0. And I think it's a lot of seller concessions and seller credits going into those price points. And then here's our median sales prices of all of Clark County. If you guys have been following this, you've seen that I kind of go over this, and it's really hard to compare the numbers from previous videos and stuff, but it does seem like these have went up a little bit since the last couple months, but it's very average, where down here in the green, down in the city limits of Clark County, we're really sitting in these mid to high 400s. And when you start getting out to Cascade Park and Camas, so you're getting into East Vancouver, it definitely goes up a little bit. Camas and Washougal, it's definitely a little bit more. So you're seeing that 750,000. But you're really seeing, I would say, all of Clark County, the average price point really is going to be 550, 600,000, really depending on size and options of house. So that just shows that there's a big range in price points. So there's $1.5 million properties all the way down to $200,000, $300,000 price points of 2-bedroom houses or so. But the average is somewhere right there in the middle. I would say the average that I see of a basic 3-bedroom house is gonna be in that 425 to 460 range, and you're starting to creep into that 4-bedroom range and closer to 500. But you're really seeing that to get into Clark County, to get into Vancouver when buying, if you're around 400, maybe a little bit more price point, we can find you a house that you're going to be happy with, and you can always adjust that house and sell or refinance. You have options in the future. People only stay in their houses on an average of 5 to 7 years. So don't think of when you're buying your first house that it's going to be your forever home. And sometimes your next house isn't your next forever home either. So houses evolve with people, and just letting you know that if you're not a little bit under these average price points, that it can be difficult. It is possible, but it can be difficult to find a house that might be suitable for you. But with all that being said, it is a very tricky market right now. Interest rates are high. There's a lot of buyer scarcity. They're a little on edge to get into the market. They're a little hesitant a lot of buyers to get into the market. A lot of sellers are also hesitant to sell, and that's why that number is so low of active listings, is because they don't want to give up their low, incredibly low interest rates. So they're hesitant to sell because if they can't quite afford what they're selling right now, and they're not going to fully upgrade. So it's just a difficult time, but there is still activity happening in the market. It's still a decently healthy market, and time's just going to tell of if a crash does happen, or if this is the bottom, and if interest rates go down, that means buyer activity is going to go up, which means price points are going to go up. So it's kind of a, when do you decide to jump, and then when do you decide to be competitive? Because I say, if you're ready, I say go, because you can always adjust things at a later date when they become more favorable for you. But if you decide to jump and go into the market, that means a lot of other people are going to be making that same choice around the same time. And we could see a big boom in the market if rates come back down into the mid 5%. But those are my thoughts on what's going on in the market report that we were given from the state. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. All my contact information is down in the description of this video. I have a link that you can book a one-on-one chat with me. I would love if you followed that and booked a call. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. And again, like and subscribe to this channel because it helps me out a ton. Again, I come out with videos like this every single week to help keep you guys educated on what's happening here in Clark County in Vancouver, Washington. And until then, I will see you in the next one.